The Baby Show is the 9th episode of the first season of 30 Rock. This is directed by Michael Engler, and as always, there will be spoilers from now as I go through the episode and share some thoughts. And to be honest, I didn't really care for this episode. I didn't dislike it necessarily, I just didn't get a lot out of it. It starts off with Jenna's birthday, she's singing, but then Cerie comes in and says she's engaged. She keeps getting interrupted, but I like that we got a little bit of Jenna singing, as I do really like when she performs on the show. And there are two main parts to the narrative, maybe three, two of them tied together quite nicely, and I'll talk about those first, and then I'll talk about Liz. But honestly, I don't have that many thoughts, because I just thought it was all a very average episode, but with a couple of funny moments, and I will highlight the bits that I really enjoyed. Jack's mother keeps calling him, and Tracy doesn't like it when Josh does impressions of him. Tracy does do an impression of Liz at one point. It's not a great impression, but I quite liked it nevertheless. And these two tie together because Josh can also do an impression of Jack. And he ends up impersonating Jack on the phone to Jack's mother. Obviously, Josh doesn't want to do this, but Jack is making him. So Jack's mother thinks she's talking to Jack. Jack doesn't need to talk to his mother. I thought everything there was woven together really well. I didn't necessarily find it the most interesting, but I do think that everything tied together quite nicely. It was pretty satisfying, that conclusion for those parts of the episode. With Liz, Liz suddenly has concerns that her biological clock is ticking. And this is largely because Cerie is engaged and is talking about having babies while she's going to be young enough to be a cool, hot, young mother. And Liz, being older than Cerie, starts to worry about this. She phones Dr. Spaceman, who I love as a character. And then the guys come in, trying to argue their case to be her baby daddy, which I thought was quite fun. I quite enjoyed that part of the episode. Liz then ends up holding a baby, and it's very well filmed because she's got the baby in her arms, and then the next thing we know, she's in her apartment. And I thought that was very, very well done. The transition there was really smooth. So I quite liked that as well. But that part of the narrative, I wasn't that bothered about. I didn't think it was that interesting. But that moment, I definitely liked. And that's basically it. There's not much else that happens. And I feel like it's missing something. We maybe needed a performance or something else to do with the TV show. I just didn't really care for the main narratives enough to really enjoy this. I didn't hate it, but I didn't get a lot out of it. But I did love the ending. In the final scene, Kenneth is on the phone with his mother, and for a brief second we are led to believe he is talking to a skeleton, presumably of his mother, but it turns out his mother is on the phone, and the skeleton is just a Halloween decoration that his mother sent him, which I liked. I thought it was a fun way to end things. So, needless to say, The Baby Show is not my favourite episode of 30 Rock. But as mentioned, there are a couple of moments that I quite liked. And in general, I didn't hate it. But honestly, I don't know if I would ever choose to watch this episode again. It wouldn't be the worst thing, but I think there are many episodes I'd watched before this one. It just didn't appeal to me very much at all.